Hello, this is the video for Objective 6 of the 2021 SANS Holiday Hack Challenge. And this is the one that I kept referring to where you need to play with someone else or to get the terminal challenge. And we probably need multiple tries on this, but at the end, the reward is that you get hints for the shell coding challenge, which is a bit harder, but it's still something that is feasible, I think, even for beginners, because it's a very detailed walkthrough. But first, let's try to get the terminal challenge and get the hints. So picking up where we left off, I have here the shellcode primer objective listed, and as you can see now the difficulty increased. Now it's a difficulty of 3 Christmas trees, and it says complete the shellcode primer in Jack's office. According to the last challenge, what is the secret to KringoCon's success? All of our speakers and organizers providing the gift of, and then you need to submit the solution here free to the community. Talk to Chimney Scissor Sticks in the Networks area for hints. So just like before, I need to teleport to the destination, which is the Networks area. Let me just find this one here. And I requested help for this challenge because it is easiest to solve it with 2 players. There's Ava under the name Calcium jumping around here, as you can see. Hello there. So we're going to jump to the elf here, and first I'm going to talk to the elf. I'm just trying to position myself so we see the chat bubbles here. So it says, I'm Chimney Scissor Sticks and I'm having a great time up here. I've been hanging out with all these Networks players and not worrying about what's going on next door. In fact, I've really been having fun playing this Holiday Hero terminal. So it's a version of Guitar Hero that we will have to play, and we need to fuel Santa's sleigh. It's more fun to play with a friend, but also heard there's a clever way to enable single player mode. I heard it can be enabled by fiddling with 2 client-side values, one which I couldn't read this message, but you can play this one on your own, but it gets trickier. And as I mentioned earlier in previous videos, I don't have the dexterity to play this game. I'm very bad at this. Probably will take multiple tries. I know I mentioned it with other games, but this one, rest assured, it's probably going to take multiple tries to get it right, because if you make a mistake, you very easily will defuel the sleigh, or I don't really know what is the right term to say. So we're going to do it with a friend, and that's why I asked Ava to help out, because we don't have many players hanging around here. Either way, I really appreciate your help getting the sleigh all fueled up, says the elf. I came back thinking about shell code. So the elf promises that we're going to get the hint for this objective if we manage to fuel the sleigh. So I'm going to ask Ava to get ready. I'm going to click on the game. And it's a version of Guitar Hero. I need to operate the game with 2 keys. We're going to try random matchmaking. If someone else jumps in, then they have the privilege to be on the video recording, but I'm going to click on random matchmaking, and then the game will display here the rules. We upgraded Santa's Lane and needs you to fuel it with jolly charged musical notes. 2 players are required electrically charged musical notes using the 2 refuel consoles. Player 1 can charge red and yellow musical notes using the Q and Y keys. Player 2 is going to use E and R. Pressing any key at the wrong time depletes. Okay, so that's the term that I was looking for. So we're going to deplete fuel if we miss, and we need to achieve at least 80% fuel level. And it's harder than it sounds, rest assured. It's a challenging game still. Close this scroll and then click on on-off button on your console when you're ready. So I'm just asking Ava if she's ready. She's giving me the thumbs up. So let's try to fuel this. And my console is already on. So Ava, when you're ready, just flip it on and then Oh, yours is. Oh, you are player 1. Oh, this is a twist. It's very, very twisty. Okay. I'm going to use then E and R as player 2. All right. This is probably going to end up poorly, but let's try it. So I'm gonna flip the switch now. All right. 1, 2, 2. I think so far. Oh, I missed one. Sorry. And we have some amazing music here. I'm missing way too many notes here. Okay. I think we're good. Almost there. How many notes are there in this song? I missed that one. Oh, you still got 95? Hey! So it's a success. Okay, on the first try. What do you say? What do you say? I think we're pretty good. Everybody's smiling. Alright, thank you very much for your help. So normally when I going to close this, then we should get the hints from the elf. Because this was a great success. Woo! Okay. The elf repeats the previous text. Now this worries me a bit. But maybe I just need to click through. Right, this is not giving me the results for some reason. Maybe this is broken. I'm going to try to refresh it, see if that one works. That's strange. So even though we succeeded, it seems like we failed. Anyways, this is how this would have looked like. But maybe the challenge is broken and we don't even have the hints here. That's strange. I'm going to make another attempt, but I'm going to stop the video here and then edit it together. See if we can make the hints appear again. If not, then I'll attempt to get the hints just displayed, the links, or just read it out loud. This was a bit unexpected, but hey, doing a video all in one take, this is something that you might expect to see. Hey, picking up where we left off, we had to play another round with Ava. For some reason, after the first round, I didn't get the achievement. Like I said, lots of servers, sometimes there are some leftover bugs here, but we did another round, and on the first try again, we got the achievement unlocked. So you couldn't see how we got the notification for the achievement, but it's right over here, so I can show you. It's fresh and crispy, and we have the holiday hero listed under the list of achievements, and it's getting a fairly long list, so I'm pretty happy about this. And now I should be able to talk to the elf and get the hints for the shellcode part. You did it! Rock on! Alright, so we have the sleigh fueled. So hey, let me talk a bit about manual exploitation. Run into your shellcode primers North Pole. Be sure to read the directions and comments in the shellcode. Troubleshooting shellcode can be difficult. Use the debugger step-by-step feature to watch values. Lastly, be careful not to overwrite any register values need to reference later on in your shellcode. That's it. I know you can do it. So we got 3 hints. And let me just look at the main quest part. And this will also require us to start exploring the Frost Tower. But let's take a look at the hints first. So everything about shellcode should be here now under our belt. Just try to find it. So we have, I think, register stomping. Yes, this is already for the shellcode part, but I think the primer is the one where we should start. If you run into shellcode primers, North Pole, we heard that one. Debugging shellcode, use the debugger. Register stomping, you need to be careful not to overwrite register where you have a value that you need to use later. So this is pretty much what the elf said, and the reason for that is that the shellcode primer is more of a walkthrough, but you will also have to think and solve the challenge on your own eventually, but it's an increasing difficulty one, so a very nice objective overall. And the location of the objective is just in Jack's office, but we can also access the whole shellcode primer part here, so we don't really need to get into the tower, but let's go there and start exploring it a little bit, because there's a quite a fun part there that I want to show you before we even get to the challenge part. So let's jump back to the lobby. And the thing is that if we want to get into Jack's office, we could use the elevator. I'm not going to fix the elevator right now. There's a way to open up the panel and solve another challenge, but that's the terminal challenge or the hint challenge for the last objective. So I'm going to take the stairs. Anyways, it's healthier. So you can take the stairs and you can get up on the second floor. This is where Jack's office is, I believe. So we have the, okay, so this is just the tracks floor. I think we are going to revisit this, but that's all. As you can see, navigating is the easiest by just using the keyboard keys. So this is probably the first floor then, or even higher. Okay, so fourth floor, fifth one, and this is actually what I did. I did not even notice the elevators. I went straight to the stairs because this is how I'm trained and socialized, that it's healthier to take the stairs, but after a while, on somewhere around the 10th floor, I started feeling like someone is playing a joke on me. By the way, who puts an ice machine in the Frosty Towers? So we keep on going up and going up and skipping floor 13, of course. Superstition. 15, we're almost there. And look at there, there's the door. And we have also the roof access, so I'm going to go there as well. So this is, normally this should be Jack's office now. Okay. And this is where we can also find the shellcode primer one. So yeah, same way you can open up the shellcode primer console here. And let me just deactivate players. I'm not sure if anyone wants to be on our videos. Hide the other players. See, and they just disappear. Boom, magic. So there's also the restroom with a golden toilet, of course. And there should be another room here. There's a printer exploitation one. There's a studio. So this is how you would explore the various floors in the game area. And I'm also going to get on the rooftop just real quick. Show you one pun that was my favorite one. So after you getting off on the rooftop and feeling good about yourself, there's an objective unlocked, and let's talk to, let's get back there. I'm gonna talk to one of the trolls here. What planet are you from? You better go climbing the stairs. Do you know you can teleport right? Just use the frost waiter. Noobs. And I totally fell for this. I was just climbing the stairs, climbing the stairs, climbing the stairs, and never realized that I could have just fixed the elevator instead. But now you're on top of it, you have all the areas so we can jump back and forth. Let's go back to Jack's office because I want to talk to the troll over there. I want to talk to Ruby. So Ruby is here, and don't listen to anything my sister Ingrida says about me. I'm looking at this system and has been a little bit worried. Better I say someone here learning kind of note for systems. Who got that kind of nerve? Anyway, I hear some elf on the other roof knows a bit about this type of thing. We already got information for the Shellcode Primer one, and I think, if I remember correctly, Ruby is going to give us the hints for the next challenge. Not sure, but we'll check it. So we have here this Shellcode Primer objective, and the FPGA programming was, I think, already listed. I can't remember. Maybe you need to get on the rooftop to get that one. But let's get into the Shellcode Primer one. Actually, I'm going to close this and open it up again. So this is really more of a walkthrough, and we're supposed to read all of this, but I'm going to go a bit faster because this video is gonna get fairly long otherwise, so I'm not gonna read it entirely. But the idea here is that this is going to emulate the development, and it's using MAT-ASM in the background to compile our shellcode that we prepare. And this is just a welcoming primer, but when you do this objective, you're supposed to read all of this. And there's also an introduction here. I don't think there's much to do here. You can also get hints, and I would recommend everyone to take all the hints when you attempt this, because if you never did shell coding, like I did very little with assembly and shell coding previously, so this can be pretty challenging, and all these examples are quite useful actually also for the later levels of this objective. And disassemblers to this X bytecode here, and you can also execute the debugger and see how the different registers change. So overall, pretty cool stuff, great learning tool. This is hands down one of my favorite challenges from the whole game, because it teaches you a lot of pretty cool concepts. For example, how to use loops. I'm not sure if we need to do anything here. This just shows you how you can create a simple loop using labels, and then you can again check the debugger, but that's pretty much it. So we're gonna get started, and that's the part where you're supposed to already start writing assembly. Now this one is fairly easy. All you need to do is just return. So we just need a return statement here. Opcode for return is ret. Solution literally just return. So I'm gonna type it in. Assembles to C3, which is the operation code really translated into machine language, and that's all for level 3. So as I said, it starts gradually, and with increasing difficulty it's gonna be tougher and tougher later. Alright, so the next one here already has some of the code. I'm just looking at my notes, and the next one here is alright, so we just need to set a register here, and we need to then load the value in, very similar to this one, but we need to load in a different value, and we can request some hints. Something isn't working, don't forget to check the debugger. Pops up when you click execute. Now normally I think this should work with just decimal numbers. I'm gonna give it a try, but I think the reason why it's not in my notes is that for some reason this wasn't working for me properly. Let's try to execute this. And okay, now this was working fine. You can also do it in hex if you prefer to do it in that form, but apparently that's all it requires. So I'm gonna make here just a quick note that alternatively this should work as well. I'm not sure what happened when I actually tried this challenge and why it failed to use the decimal value, but it's good to know that it wasn't really me. All right, so level 5 system calls. This is much needed if you want to do something meaningful, right? Reading up a file. So here the let's request all the hints. They're free, so we should get all the hints all the time. We have already here the actual system call instruction here, but we need to do sysexit, and again reading the instructions is very important in this challenge. And if you look up sys_exit, you will find the code here for this instruction. And what we need to do here is, like the comment says, we have to find the syscall number. We already did that, so that's actually I think this is it in hex? No, so this is the decimal value here. So it's this one over here. We need to load that into our register. So literally just move RAX. Later I'm not going to type these in, but I think it's these are fairly simple ones. And then we want to put the exit code into the RDI register, which is 99. And that should be it. So if we execute this, it says great job. And you can see how the registers change. This is probably going to be more interesting in higher levels. So we have the level 5. For some reason, level 6 is not unlocking. So let me do a refresh here. Calling into the void. This one is, I don't think it's requiring me to do anything other than this. So this is just looking at how you would push down a value into the stack and then get back that value by using a return. That's one way of getting it. So you just need to click execute and win. You can see we are pushing down this value here on the stack. I'm going to do a return in the appropriate pointer. The value changes, and well, in this case we're not actually returning to a meaningful memory address, but that's okay. This is just a way to get back the value on the stack. So let's go and use this knowledge for the next level. So what happened in the last exercise? Why did we crash at this point? You notice that this was on the top when the return happened. Short story is, call pushes the return address onto the stack and it jumps to it. What? And this is going to be very useful for some applications. So here in the next challenge, we just really need, I think, one part of it to be completed. So everything else is done, and we just need to pop the stack into our register. So that's literally all you have to write. Actually, I forgot to get all the hints. I think it's going to tell you, yeah, pop reg is the only thing that you need to do. Once you have this, that's all that we need to do. So here, using this technique, we can jump to the appropriate address. So here we make a call, and this pushes down on the this pushes down this address on the stack, we're popping it to our ArrayX pointer, and then we can get to that address of the call and nicely cleanly exit. So this is the idea with this technique. All right. Hello world example. I believe this one will require us to leverage this. So yeah, we're going to first push down this string using the previously saw technique, and then we're going to get the value from the step. So looking again the hints, this is pretty much the same as previous change, except not has been replaced with a string. So here I'm going to paste this one in. So we need to do a call here to whatever label we want to. Then this is going to be the string that we're going to use. And then what we need to do is have this label here and do a pop ArrayX like we did it before, and do a return, but this is already done for us. As the exercise says, if you look at the compiled code, is basically hello world, which doesn't run. Instead of trying to run it, you can call past it and pop its address to ArrayX. So if we execute it, it's going to basically do a hello world, or like place this string. So this is how we can load in something into our register, and this will be important later for system calls, which I think is the next one, like actually doing the hello world. Yeah. So we're going to use now a system call and everything else that we saw earlier. So for this 9th step, and I can't remember if it's 10 or 11 altogether, but the idea is that we're going to do a system write. So we need to again consult the system call table, and this one has the code 1. And we're going to do a simple hello world. So just like before, we're going to load the string into one of the registers. Just maybe sign it in, and then with this get string, we're going to load the string into this register, and then we need to load the appropriate parameters to the registers in order to perform the system call. So we already took care of the register where we want to have the string. We need to set ArrayX correctly, which is just going to be the actual syscall number for syswrite. Then set the first argument, which is in the RDI register, and in this case the file descriptor is just 1 because we're going to do std out like the chat says. Again, I'm skipping through a lot of steps here, but once you read it through, it will make far more sense. You can also get the hint, so this will give you a ton of help. But I found that basically just reading the comment sections here and doing what they say is pretty much what you need to do. So RSI to the second argument, this is the hello world string, which we're going to get from the previously set place. So we popped it into RBX, which means if we need to set this register, we're just going to load it from that other register. And the last thing is to set the third argument, the length of the string in bytes. which if you count the number of letters in hello world exclamation mark, you will get 12. And that should be it. Let's execute this. And indeed, it's going to eventually print out. So here we're setting all the registers and then making the system call, which will produce hello world, as you can see. And then we're cleanly going to return. All right, opening a file. It's pretty similar to the previous one, but instead of setting a string, we need to make a system call for sysopen, which has the number 2 value for the system call. And starting here from the top, again, the idea is going to be the same as before. Let me just replace this whole line. So we're going to load it into a register. I pick the B register here. And then we need to set REX with the appropriate syscall number, which we saw is now not 1 but 2 for system open. Then load in the file name from register B, we already set. And then it says for the second argument, you can just load in a 0. And again, a 0 is fine for RDX. I do it lazy. RDX. Perform the syscall and then return. So that should be all for reading the content of etc password. And yeah, again, you can ask for the hints. Let's execute this shell code, and it says great work. Let's step through though. So we have the appropriate registers set, and we do have the results, but I'm not really able to make anything out of this. So we're just going to move on to the final challenge. And this is really the actual challenge part of this whole thing, I believe, because you need to combine together everything, and it's going to be a series of system calls. So you're going to do a sysopen, just like we did before. We're going to read, and this is again something that we need to look up. But this is going to be the last syscall that we're going to get familiar with, and then they're going to tell you to do a system exit to make a clean exit. And the only thing that they provide you is the file that you need to read with your shell code. Pretty cool. So the idea to get started is, and you get a hint, but it says this is the last challenge, good luck. So not much, but you can piece together this last one by using the previous steps. So it's like a Lego. You just need to put together the pieces. We already saw how to set this variable and load it into a register, so we're going to just repeat that code. And as you can see, it's pretty boilerplate after a while. Then we're going to call the system open one, and I'm just going to here repeat the previous code that we saw earlier. So I'm going to set the sysopen value for the register A, then load in the value from the B register, and then set the previous flags, just like we saw it with the step 10. And then I need to read this file, so we're going to do a system read. And this is the tricky part, because you need to upload the values into registers correctly. You have, with the system open, call the results in the A register. So first you need to load it back to the register that you're going to use for the system read command, then set it to 0, because if you zero it out, then you lost what you set here previously. So you have to be careful on this. This is, I think, the only twist. The other twist, and I'm going to modify the value once I have the entirety of the assembly pasted in. But the other tricky part is to figure out the size that we want to read. And somewhere here the challenge says that if you read up some extra bytes, that's okay. I do remember that it mentions this, but yeah, but if it's too high, that's perfectly fine. So the idea here really is just to read the values. We're gonna have, I think, some garbage bytes with this, and then we need to write out the constants of the file to standard out. That's the last part. Here, I think the read will already have one of the registers correctly set, so we don't really need to load in again the register value. It's just how the system read returns, but I can't remember exactly. And I do have here the last part, which is just the system exit one. And if you remember back, this was which one was the system call? I think, yeah, so number 5. This is the same exact assembly code. So I'm really just putting together the pieces. If this looks like magic to you, don't worry. If you go through these, it should clear up, because it's a very, very nice challenge, giving you all the details. And like I said, this was one of my favorite ones. I think it really teaches you something. So I enjoyed it a ton. And I said that we're going to ruin it first. So the size part is another twist here. And initially, I think I did like 32 instead of 256. And if you execute this, everything will go, but it says, you can barely see it, let me just exit here. There were problems, looks like standard out didn't end up with the correct value. And if you do, this is the part where you really need to use the debugger here. If you go till the very end, so you can see how the values are populated, we load in the name of the file properly, make the system call, have the return value here. We need to again do some tricks to properly load the values into the place where they're supposed to be. Another system call. And at this point, so this was I think open and read. So we already see with the read command, but the end goal is to write down and standard out. We already see part of the file content, but not the entirety. So this is only 32 bytes, at least it should be. And the issue is that my size for a read was not large enough. And we're also going to end up after this syscall just part of it. Where's the standard out? There it is. So I only have just part of the string here, and that was the issue. So I was gradually incrementing this. I think even 128 is not sufficient. This should also fail, but we see more and more. So the secret to kingdom, upon success. All of your speakers, organizers, throwing the gift of cybersecurity knowledge free, and this is already the. I'm going to paste this one in to my clipboard, or copy it to my clipboard rather, so that I can paste it later. But this is already the solution for the challenge. But you probably want to have the green check mark here. So to do that, you still need to keep on increasing this and execute it. And as you can see, I have some garbage files here at the end, but it's fine, because at the end I got the green check mark here. So this is for the shellcode primer, and then you need to go back to the game. And this is probably going to be a fairly long video. This is already 30 minutes just for the shell coding part, and I'm afraid that the other videos are going to be even longer. But I can go back and submit here cybersecurity, so gift of cybersecurity. I think that was the right one, or that's incorrect. Oh, what did I miss? So let me just double check. The gift of cybersecurity knowledge. Okay, I missed the knowledge part. Is that what's wrong? Okay, so this was missing. The knowledge part was missing. Cybersecurity in itself doesn't worth much, at least not completion of objective 6. All right, I know this was fairly long, but I think, like I said, this is one of the best objectives, the best challenges in this year's game, or the 2021 Hack Challenge game. And that's all for this video. Now I need to go back and edit and piece it together because of that little glitch that we had with the hints. I'll see if I keep on recording today. It's getting pretty late, so I might continue tomorrow with the video recordings, or I might do the printer exploitation one. We'll see, but this video is definitely over, and hope to see you in the next one. The printer exploitation one is also a really good one. You should check it out. There should be, I don't know which side, but there should be a reference to it.